And that was the first patient and the first time that I actually thought, wow, this is actually going to be like an air fluidized.
We'd have no hesitation in recommending the Dolphin mattress,
which has been a godsend for this patient's care.
Rather than have two nurses, she could roll because she was in less pain being on the Dolphin mattress.
My background is nursing, but I've been in this industry for nearly 30 years, and part of my background was working with surfaces. So I worked with R&D, I've dealt with dynamics, I've dealt with really critical patients. So when I was introduced to Dolphin, I was told that this mattress would act like an air fluidized unit, so act like a simulated fluid environment. And I have to say I was a little bit skeptical as to how this would fit into the market. And ended up in a conversation with a tissue viability nurse who was extremely worried about a patient that they had in intensive care. This was a patient with horrendous vascular problems, necrosis of his skin from his waist and down, and very little blood supply, to the point where they were actually nursing this patient in the prone position, and they couldn't get him back into the supine position because they were really concerned about his skin. However, the consultant was very keen that this patient needed to be back on his back. They wanted to extubate him. We'd never had any experience of Dolphin in the market to that point. There was a lot of evidence at that point in time, US evidence. We provided that evidence to the tissue viability nurse. He then invited me to speak to the consultant. This consultant was interested but wanted to see the evidence, had a read of the evidence, and I left. Anyway, 24 hours later I got a phone call from the consultant to say, could we have that Dolphin? I travelled up, went in, helped them with that patient, got the patient from a prone position directly into a supine position on the Dolphin. I walked out of that ward that day thinking, oh my goodness, please pray that this product is going to do what we say it's going to do. And I didn't sleep that night. The outcome of that patient was incredibly positive. We actually couldn't believe it, and the consultant couldn't believe that that patient was still very sick, but there was no further damage to his skin. In fact, his skin started to pink up. And that was the first patient and the first time that I actually thought, wow, this is actually going to be like an air fluidized. We've put the most compromised patients on Dolphin, the most compromised patients that would not have performed well and have actually done very well. And in fact, we've collected outcomes on many patients that have been out there, and every patient we've collected outcomes on are patients that clinicians would tell us that these patients are not going to do well, they can't do well, they can't possibly do well on a mattress. So I think first and foremost what it means to Medstrom is the effort or the success that we've provided patients and clinicians in the market.
Wounds heal even though your positional changes may be very extremely limited.
My understanding is that Dolphin is the gold standard.